Hi everyone, I'd like to welcome you to the premiere of the Urban Manor podcast. My name is Ernil Johnny. I'm a photographer and entrepreneur.
Hi, I'm Kelly Indy Smith, former Miss St. Lucia USA, creative artist, and founder of the Southern Gem Foundation.
How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very excited.
Me too.
I'm nervous, but I'm very excited.
Nerves are good.
Was it good?
That means you're pushing yourself.
Yes, very uncomfortable.
Yeah, but you have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable.
That's true. That's where growth actually happens, right?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
So we've been talking about this platform for quite some time now,
Mm-hmm.
and we finally made it here.
Yes.
We finally manifested it.
Yes.
And I'm super excited about it. Nervous at the same time, but excited on one hand because
Yeah.
I know the possibilities that could come from this.
Mm-hmm.
But also nervous that this is the first time. This is me exposing myself to something totally different.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you've done pageants before. You've been on talk shows, radio shows. How does it feel to sit in front of the camera?
I think there's always a level of vulnerability when you put yourself out there, like you're saying. But man, anything for the space, anything for feeding the creative self, feeding the creative mind. So I would push past that uncomfortability, and I'll get comfortable with being uncomfortable real quick. So I'm just happy to be. I'm happy that we're doing this.
Yes.
And yeah. Yes.
It's been a journey.
It has been a journey.
Yes. And I was still behind the camera, and today I'm here in front of the camera. I'm here to share my story, here to share my journey, vulnerabilities and success and failures with you all.
Mm-hmm. Ooh. First of all, your journey as a photographer, and I think I told you that before, because I've seen you in the space before doing your photography, maybe about 2015, and I did have that photo that I always talk about of, part of what you would do at different events, and I have that photo that you took for me, and I cherish that photo so much. But to just see the growth and to see, the way that you really leveled up and stayed at it and like crafted a space for yourself, that's really admirable.
Beautiful. Very humbling. Appreciate it.
Of course. So I think that's kind of leading into the discussion about what does success look like.
Yes.
I think it definitely has to do with when you feel alive in what you're doing, you're being of service to other persons, and all these things mesh well together. You're being of service to your community, you're using your talents, and you feel aligned with what you're doing in life. So I think that's what success is for me.
That's a beautiful explanation of success. And it's more internal, more spiritual.
Oh yeah.
If you think about it. Because being an entrepreneur, being a photographer is a very spiritual journey.
Yeah.
You tend to share energy with people. And your energy tends to show in your work on how you feel about yourself.
Yes.
Because how you feel about yourself is what you want to give to others. And you tend to, it just shows up in a manner that it represents who you are as an individual.
Yeah.
So for me, my definition of success is fall in love with what I do. It's not about the money, it's not about the accolades, it's not about the awards. It's seeing the smiles on others' faces.
Yeah.
And like you mentioned, that one photo that I captured,
Yes.
and that warms my heart.
And I think a lot of people in the community knows your work and they do value your work. Even sometimes when I see it on social media and I see how happy people are from, your photos and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, you could tell that you're aligned with what you're doing.
Yes.
So that's really refreshing. Yeah.
So you mentioned that you're an artist. What type of art are you into?
Oh, everything, but specifically music.
Music.
Yes, I think when you're a creative, you're kind of gifted. You could enter different spaces, but you kind of choose one that speaks to your heart the most. So for me, that's music.
Okay. And when was the first time you knew that you could sing?
Oh, I came out the womb singing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just love to sing. I think that's a good question. When did I know versus when did I actually sing? I think that was maybe in primary school. I was one of those persons who was always singing. So I love to sing. But I think when we had some calypso primary school competition, I wrote this little song, this little jingle for it.
Remember it?
Yes.
Go ahead.
You want me to sing it?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's so embarrassing. Because it was called Abstinence.
I'm sure the fans know that you sing it. Go ahead. Is it about abstinence?
Yes. Okay, you want me to sing? Okay.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. You all are just little children in a school. So please don't act like fools. Have your mind set on education and not on sexual reproduction. So when they say just this once, say no, not once, not twice, not even thrice.
Yeah, that was lovely.
So that was my jingle, but
was
then
lovely.
thank you. It never made it to the competition, but I put it on because you know how we used to have those phones with voicemail and you would do the person for your voicemail.
That was the that was the voicemail. So when somebody calling, they can't get you. That's what they heard.
I remember my dad, he heard it, he was like, oh, because my dad makes music. To this day, he says, like, like, he inspired me. He's like, oh, like, when he heard it, like, he felt like I had it.
Yeah, because you see nobody understands.
Yeah, so that's when I knew that I could sing.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what gave you courage to actually want to compete in the Young Calypso competition?
I was just one of those people I was in every sauce.
You was volunteering. Your hands is always up.
Yes. And you know, as a creative, you need spaces that inspires you. So anything you kind of feel like that kind of might inspire you, you kind of go for that opportunity.
All right. So you speak about inspiration. You mentioned that also your dad is a musician. So how did that inspire you? How did that inspire your journey?
My dad made calypso, so it inspired me. I remember the first time I saw my dad's CD and saw his face on a cover of the sleeve of the CD, and I would listen to it. That itself was just amazing to me because I was like, someone I know actually did this. So it made it attainable for me. And it just kind of inspired me to figure that out for myself, whatever that would mean. It wouldn't have had to meant music per se, but as far as a goal, other than being a teacher, doctor, and all these things that, you know, they tell us we should be. So that's what it was.
So did you grow up in, what kind of music did you hear growing up at home? Like
Vibes Cartel.
You did not grow up in no Vibes Cartel?
Yes, I did.
You can't put Vibes Cartel and look at so much excellence in the city.
I mean, okay, so obviously you have the reggae, you have the country, old whiskey.
Every Sunday.
Every Sunday. You have the Lucky Dube on those mornings, early mornings. But, you know, at about 11, 12, 13, it was Vibes Cartel and Movado running things. Yes. Guys, let me say, yes.
All right.
So, yeah, that's what it was like being home. So what about you? What inspired your photography?
Yes, I never knew I had talent for photography, to be honest. I started photography as a means to like more leads for my promotional business. At the time, I was a party promoter.
Okay.
During my college days and the young adult age, I realized the opportunity where merging photography into promotion helped market it.
Yeah.
And how well they work together.
Okay.
And I was always someone that who loved studying businesses, studying models, studying what other people have done in the spaces and how they succeeded through it.
Yeah.
And I noticed photography was not just about capturing the photos. I mean, everybody goes to a party, takes photos.
Yeah.
But to the actual owners of the websites and the photographers, it's not just a photo, it's information. And we also like once you go on the websites, you have to sign up with your email or your phone number, and that's all part of marketing. That's how we end up generating business in the future. So we're able to market our events, businesses, and also create advertising for other promotions.
Okay.
So I saw that as an opportunity to grow. And it changed for me because a lot of people started telling me, "Hey, you have a great eye for this."
You do.
And I'm like, man, I'm just taking pictures. I'm just having a good time. It was a great opportunity to learn something new. I do have a background in computer systems, so learning new technologies and new instruments is not difficult for me at all.
Okay.
You know, so and I started to look into that, how I felt while I was doing what I was doing.
Yeah.
Because it's one thing to hear somebody say something, but it's another one you actually recognize it for yourself. So I took the time to pause and say, hey, maybe this is something special. Maybe this is something that fulfill me.
Yeah.
I love smiling. I love being happy. And to bring that joy to others is a beautiful thing. So I don't see that just photography. I see that as exchange of energy, like I said previously.
So I know you mentioned seeing it for yourself versus hearing people say it.
Yeah.
Was there a particular moment or something that happened that kind of made it click for you to decide, okay, I'm really gonna focus on this and give it my all, versus just doing it because you know you could do it, you know you're good at it, and you know you enjoy it?
There's not a particular moment. I believe it's as the photos began to develop.
Like you got better?
I got better at it.
Nice.
And not just better in terms of this, the photography aspect of it, but I believe the kind of images I was creating, the images of love, peace, joy.
Yeah.
I was doing a lot of like family photos, maternities, children photos. I'm like, all those images created a space of love.
Yeah.
And being able to look in that lens was kind of like looking at the lens of like kind of divinely, to be honest, because you don't get to see those moments very often.
Yeah.
And you don't want to actually freeze in time to capture that.
Yeah.
and you create a lasting impression on the lives of others.
That's really
you know.
Yeah. Follow-up question. Do you think that maybe your set of beliefs or like your values feed into what type of work you take on?
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. This work I have no interest in.
Okay. Like what? Let us know.
Like I said, like when I started my journey, I started with like family photos, things that will, I would say, very demure.
Okay. Yeah. Very mindful. Yeah.
I was never really into the boudoir and the nudity, those kind of things.
Okay.
Because everybody have a style, to be honest.
Yeah.
And you could tell the same way, everything is the imprint.
Yeah.
So you could see a work and you could tell this might be Ernest's work. Or you might hear a voice or song and say, this might be Kelly.
Yeah.
Because we leave a part of us in everything that we do.
Yeah, it's like our DNAs and
our
creative DNA. Yeah.
And sometimes you might see something like, that's not Ernest, and then they go touch that.
Yeah.
That is that way. As much as we are creative and we shouldn't limit ourselves or box ourselves or something.
Yeah.
But there's some things we just don't touch. Not because we cannot do it, because it's not what set our soul on fire. It's not my passion, so I would never go into it.
Okay.
If you ever see me doing it because of the money was good.
Yeah. So you're gonna sell out. You're gonna.
Not able to sell out, but if the opportunity is great.
Yeah.
Hey.
So let me calls for it. There's times you make that compromise.
Yeah, but there are things I have no interest in, so I don't touch it at all.
Okay.
Because I believe, if I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it well, and I can't do it well if I do not want to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I know exactly what.
If I do not want to do it, I'm not doing it. Except if the money is good.
The money is good.
As a creative.
So you guys heard it here. Just have the money and you don't do it. I got you though. I feel you. So, I always see music as a weapon.
Interesting.
On the whole, I think that creativity on the whole is a weapon. How do you see that as far as your creative talents?
Photography?
Yeah, do you see it as a weapon? Do you feel like you're fighting the system to create great images? I don't know. I just made that up. But
I think everything in life is a double-edged sword. I see everything as top and bottom, left and right, good and bad. It's really the intention of the user.
Okay.
You know how people say guns don't kill people, people kill people?
Yeah.
Kind of like that.
Okay.
So it's if you have the talent as an artist, creative artist, whether it's photography, musician, painter, what do you use that talent for? For good, to help others, or for your own selfish reasons, or to put down others?
For me, it's just that awareness that, there's so much stuff going on in life, right?
Yeah.
Do you think you would be okay if you didn't do photography?
Yeah.
You think you'd be okay?
Yeah.
If you didn't do photography at all?
Okay, so could stop right now?
And just don't do, not as far as if you'll be set financially or nothing like that, but do you think your spirit, who you are as a person, would be fine without photography?
Honestly, yes.
Okay.
You know why? Because if I could think back as far as I can, my journey did not start with just photography. I started off as a promoter, went into graphic designs, went into web development, went into photography, right? And then I went to then create a business around photography.
Got you. Said enough. Do you think you could survive without being creative?
That's
I think where we're going. Yeah.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Because once you're creative, you can't sleep at night.
Yeah.
I didn't sleep last night.
You were thinking about this?
Yeah.
And rewatching those trial runs?
Yes.
Yeah.
I couldn't sleep last night. Not because I was scared. It's because it's uncomfortable. It's being a beginner again, building my life around photography.
Yeah.
To the point where now I have a photo studio where we actually shooting this right now.
Yeah.
Event space, photo booths, my own photography, event photography, wedding photography. So I built an entire space around it. And that's not just photography, that's me being creative and being entrepreneurial.
Me, it's like...
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, just having that kind of conviction. I think sometimes, especially where we're from, it's focused on survival, which is fine, especially in a space like this in the US where, it's really do or die. You have to be on top of it. sometimes it feels like there's an appreciation or even a conviction to that route, especially coming from an immigrant community in the US.
I mean, what I could say from my own experience, being an immigrant, being a child of the soil, St. Lucia born and raised, what I could say is that crisis creates opportunity. Crisis creates opportunity in the way that we are at our sharpest when we need to survive. When you're back against the wall, you will be creative. You'll find a way through it.
Yeah.
So you don't have a choice. It's do or die.
Yeah.
Do you want to lay down and die, or you want to fight and survive?
I mean, some people accept it though.
I believe that because they're not in touch with who they really are.
Yeah, which makes our job even more powerful. So I think part of it is that we have to awaken that in other people too. So people have to see and be like, you inspire me.
That's true.
Yeah.
But see, everybody has creativity in them.
They do. Yeah.
It's what you do best and what makes you such a soul and fire, what makes you happiest.
Yeah.
You see, because there are people out there who could come from a job working 10 hours shift or double and come home and they turn on that oven.
Yeah.
Need that dough.
Yeah.
Make a lovely cake and they happy, smiling. They forget about the back pain they had. They forget about the commute on the train. They forget about the weather, the coldness of winter. But that oven heat, they feel it in that kitchen. So like, we all have that creative spirit inside of us.
We do.
It's just a matter of tapping in. Now, some of us, see, there's a difference between creativity and entrepreneurship. Because for some of us, we use our creativity to create businesses, to fund ourselves, help support others. So there's a thin line between that. So creative people don't necessarily have to have a business.
True.
They just have to love what they do.
True.
Now, I would say the disadvantage of that also is because people who are creative tend to keep it for themselves. They don't go out and share it with others. Or if they do share it with others, it's not really out there. Maybe in passing, you might hear, hey, find out some nice ice lollies or something, or some nice coconut bread or something like that. And you taste it, like, oh my God, why haven't you like promoted this? Or how haven't you put this out there like this? And you're like, maybe they just don't want to.
Yeah.
Or maybe they don't have the opportunity or the help to. And I think this is why a platform like this is important, because now you can create a space to help uplift those, also help use creativity to create more avenues and to support those who need the help in those spaces.
So we were discussing like Julie and Alfred, and obviously how her achievement, her personal journey has done so much for the community.
Yeah.
As creatives, specifically as St. Lucian creatives, do you think there is maybe a burden or some kind of like opposing force or opposing motives behind why we create our art? Like, is it more for us or is it more geared towards the community?
I believe we do sometimes, because starting off anything, you do it for yourself, your own reasons.
Yeah.
You get to a certain point where it's like you want to give back, and also are you influencing or are you aspiring and inspiring others to achieve their dreams and go after their goals and to do what they love doing?
Yeah.
I won't say it's a burden. I would say in my own personal journey, I've understood that nothing belongs to me.
That's good.
The gifts that we have, the gifts that we possess are divinely given to us.
Yes.
And up to us to tap into that. Once you reach that point, mental and spiritual, you understand that it was not given to you for your own selfish reasons. It was given to you to bless others.
Yes.
And this is why it's important to create platforms, create spaces.
That's why we're here.
The spaces that you create is to help other people find that home, to find a place where they could flourish,
Yeah.
where they could sharpen their skills and network and meet others, and to have that confidence and to grow. I believe in attention and intention, and most time we spend a lot of time looking for attention, while we lack intentions. And the more we realize the intention of what we're doing and why we're doing it and for who we're doing it, worry less about attention, which also means worrying less about opinions of others.
That's good.
Because what the intention that you have are innately positive.
Yeah.
Is bigger than just me.
Yeah.
It's bigger than just my community. I've created this space, and over the last few years, I'm not having much support from the St. Lucian community, but it's still for the St. Lucian community.
Yeah.
Because I still inadvertently support them and, come in and we work together. But I know for a fact the talents that I have, the places I've been, the way I've grown, is because of my community And I know what I have and possess is not mine. It's not my own.
Yeah.
It's a force that's greater than me that's pushing me forward.
Yeah.
So the switch I'm making from being behind the camera to in front of the camera is a spiritual switch. It's a switch because I know there is a greater purpose. So as a creative, there's this thing where we're in our head a lot.
Yeah.
And sometimes we know we should be doing more, or we could be doing more, but we like to stay in our comfort zone. And I've devoted 20 years doing photography. Why should I go start podcasting? Why should I start a channel? Why should I start artistry? Why should I start music?
Yeah.
This is my life.
That's
It's all perspective. It could also bring age as well. Oh, I'm too old to be starting a new career. Or I'm too old to be going back to school. No, time is a perspective. And if it's easy to do it, you should do it. There are going to be obstacles. There are going to be discouraging moments. There are going to be insecurities. There are going to be challenges. But you know within you when something is for you.
Yes.
What's for you will attract you to it.
Yes.
It will pull you. You don't ever have to go chasing for it. It will pull you. And in my journey, I've noticed that anything I went after, I lost it.
Yeah, it's like a butterfly.
And that's
that's
the hardest part.
Yeah.
Because that's the ego leading you. You want to achieve something to say, oh, I have it. Because you do that for the attention and the applause.
Yeah.
And they say, oh, look at him. And everything I've chased after, I lost. But being grounded and meditating and becoming spiritual, I understood that everything that God created for me in His life, I don't have to go after it. I have to attract it.
Yeah.
So with attracting that, I have the responsibility to do my part. And if there's a vision in me, that vision has to be manifested in life. The same way I become a photographer. At that season of my life, my journey was photography. Eventually, I'll have a different calling that says, hey, Neil, time to put on the camera and step in front of the camera because you have something to say. And don't worry about what you're going to say, because I will speak for you. And I spent a lot of time worrying, what will I say? Or who am I to say anything?
Yeah.
What have I really achieved? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And this put it in St.Lucian terms. He don't take away you. You know, like,
Yeah.
what about the opinions of other people? Like, yeah, like, who do you think you are? Like, man, you ain't got nothing. Like, you know, like,
Yeah.
the opinions of others, like, this talking now, because usually when you start doing something, people talk about you. Being in your head, and that's one of the biggest challenges, is worrying about the opinions of others. And we put down ourselves the most. We are our biggest critics because I've had so much time being a perfectionist and succeeded in a craft that going back to something that's new is challenging. And you look at everybody else who've already done it and succeeded at it, and you be like, I'm just starting now. There is space for me.
Yeah. That's a
How do I fit into this? And but the sad part is, I'm always want to tell somebody there's room for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
But sometimes for us to step into that room is challenging. But it's okay for us to tell everybody else that.
Yeah.
But it's hard to see how we ourselves hold ourselves back. And it's also a battle between letting go and going into the uncertain. Because like when you've been doing something for so long, it's difficult to leave that behind.
Yeah.
You know, and you built a life on it. So that transition from what you used to be to the new version of you
Yeah.
is dark. It's
Like
a dark place.
reckoning. Yeah.
It's like going to a tunnel.
Yeah.
You in the light, going towards the tunnel, and you enter that tunnel, it's just straight darkness.
Yeah.
And in that space and time, it's like, am I doing the right thing? Should I go back? Should I continue? Should I give up? Who's with me? It's quiet in here. I don't have any support. I don't have no clients. I have no customers. I'm not making no money.
Yeah.
This is difficult.
Yeah.
I should go back to what's easy. But going through a tunnel, is it wise to turn back? You just continue going, have faith, you know, and then that faith will carry you through. And once you come out of that tunnel, it's a beautiful view.
Yeah.
So that's I would say my transition, creating this platform, the Urban Miner podcast. It's not just about myself. It's a space I'm creating for other creatives, especially Saint Lucian creatives. Because over the past couple of months, I've been able to witness tremendous talent. I have the resources to help, whether it's video, photography, studio, to create a home
Yes.
for those nationals and creatives and artists. And this is what my intentions are with this platform.
Yeah. Do you think you've been in a space that supports your creative development, like specifically in our community right now?
Honestly, I wouldn't be here without the community. Starting off my journey as far as promotion, graphics, photography, it all started off with the support of my community.
Nice.
The support they given me for the years, I would not be honest if I didn't say they pushed me to that point. I would say I had the entire community, as a support system. But I noticed as I've grown, I've kind of been more distant from the community.
Why do you think that is?
I guess the level of creativity and the expertise has changed. And as far as what the community has to offer, hasn't necessarily been challenging enough.
Okay.
Or there's not enough opportunities to display my creativity or my talents. But nonetheless, I'm always at service to my community.
Yeah.
Whether it's photographing the pageants, the galas, the events at the Saint Lucian house, wherever I'm needed, they reach out to me. I've always been able to support them and give back that a helping hand. So it's definitely been a journey with my St.Lucian community.
Yeah.
It has been a great journey. So I definitely want to say thank you to everybody that has helped me get this far and supported my businesses and supported me personally and loved me and couldn't be done without you. So I turn the question to you. How has the community supported you for your journey as an artist?
It's been a bit different. I think the way that I was introduced to the community was a bit different. I came here in 2010, 11-ish, and I was still in middle school. So I was a teenager figuring out stuff. So my introduction into the community was being under my mom's wings.
Okay.
And going everywhere she went. So
where's the mom going?
La Rose. We were going to La Rose. We were going to different brunches at the Saint Lucian house, but stuff that, the entire community was at. So my community per se was the older crowd.
Okay.
To a certain extent, still is the older crowd.
Is it called Tapscott?
I have been there. There's nothing wrong with Tapscott. Shout out to Tapscott.
Yes.
But really, it's like the older community, the elders in the community. That's where I got most of the support because of my involvement with La Rose and
the cultural groups.
Yeah, cultural groups and stuff of those sorts.
You dance cultural and stuff back home?
No.
You never did it?
I never did. I mean, in school, yes, when they have, Creole month or they have different activities. But I got more involved with stuff like that here than back home.
Really?
Yes.
So you mentioned your involvement in the various cultural groups. What about, organizations within your age range? Is there a place for you in those?
Within the community, like I said, it was the older crowd who really kind of embraced me, I think. And then my peers, I would say, and the demographic that I thought I was making music for, and I still am making music for, I think there was a difficulty with me integrating into that space. And I think a huge part of it is having that crisis between, okay, I was born here, but I was raised home, but then I came here at a certain age, and there's like this confusion, I think, for myself that disallowed me to
your identity.
Yes, that disallowed me to really integrate and like be one with that community. So I've always felt like I've been on the outside, kind of like the stepchild, that I know everything. I know the house. I know where the kitchen is. I can open the fridge. I can do all of that stuff, but it's like I've been struggling with, am I really a daughter? Which I know I am. But again,
we are all sons and daughters of
yes,
Saint Lucia.
Yes.
But then again, like you said, the sense of feeling welcomed, feeling embraced.
Yeah. Especially when you're a bit eccentric.
Really?
Yeah, when like I'm no stranger to just following what I think suits me, what I think, is right, what looks beautiful. And I think when you're a teenager and you're going through that hash developmental stage and you're doing all this crazy, you should see my driver's license photo and it will explain what I mean. But I think that kind of estranged me a bit more.
Okay.
So I think, definitely that identity crisis and just trying to find myself while being a creative.
But you're doing a great job with that so far, because I've seen you started the Southern Gem Foundation. So you have returned back home to the soil.
Yes.
You are in touch with the youth. How has that journey been since?
I mean, the Southern Gem Foundation. So obviously, I did the pageant last year. I was the first Miss Saint Lucia USA. And my platform was creative arts and youth development. And that's something that's always been dear to my heart. Creative arts, because I'm an artist. I
Yes.
grew up being artistic, being creative, and youth development because I love kids. I love being around kids. I love interacting with kids, working with kids. So to me, it was trying to mesh both of those things together. But Southern Gem has always been in my spirit to create. If I really dig deep, I could find other ways that I had tried to bring this platform to life
Yes.
that maybe wasn't the right time. I didn't have the right mindset. I didn't have the right resources. But it's always been in there to do things for the community through the things that make me feel alive.
Is it your belief that being part of the pageant helped you create that? It created a platform for you to actually bring that to life with support of,
Yes.
the organizations.
Yes.
And you using your power now. 'Cause now you have a voice. Now you're the queen. Using that voice to, enlist others on your journey, creating the Southern Gem and actually going forth and giving back to the community.
Oh yeah, 100%. And I always thank for its organization, just thank them for putting that together, and the Saint Lucia Consulate as well,
Yes.
for seeing the need for creating platforms like that to create those spaces for St. Lucian women and even St. Lucian creatives, because there's a bunch of creatives who are involved. You're involved as
Yes.
well in that process. So definitely it gave me that opportunity to say, you've always wanted to do this. Here is an opportunity for a year to do it. Because regardless, you have the title. So it's like it comes with it that you're expected to do
Yes.
something. So I welcomed it and I said, finally, I get to do something I've always wanted to do. So I just embraced that opportunity and just went 100% into making it a reality.
That's beautiful. Congratulations on that achievement.
Thank you. Thanks.
So you mentioned the pageant. You were queen. What does it feel like being a queen?
Before the pageant or after?
You were always a queen.
Yeah.
Empress, Queen Energy.
Yes.
But the first ever Saint Lucian USA queen. How did that make you feel?
It made me feel great is like such an understatement, but I felt honored. I felt that someone like Cesar Descartes would be proud of me. Like, I truly believe in our national heroes, and I always feel that when I do things like that with the community and for the community, that's where I want my name to land, in the same sentences as those people. So it felt like I was doing something for the community. And then obviously I was the first. I didn't put pressure on myself, but I did feel that I had to set a standard for the next person to come to know that, no, you could actually use this platform to do something. It's not just you look great, you want best swimsuit, you win Miss Photogenic, and that's it. No,
That's
you're
it.
actually a queen. You're doing something for your community.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And you mentioned that you had to struggle with your identity as a Saint Lucian.
Yeah.
And you becoming actually, setting forth to go back to the land. Can't imagine how you feel about this, because it helped you along your journey.
Yeah.
For you, it's more spiritual than anything.
100%. Yeah.
So how do you feel now that the crown is off?
The crown is still there. You can't see it.
I can see the crown.
No, it's a great feeling. I mean, honestly speaking, though, I truly believe I have a crown on my head. I've always believed I've had a crown on my head, and that's just my lioness way. That's how I go through life, with that kind of inner dialogue about myself. So for me, having the physical crown on my head was just me showing in the physical world, okay, I have to do this and I'm doing this. But the crown has always been there and the crown is still there. So to speak to that aspect of it, the physical crown not being there anymore, I feel fulfilled. And I posted it on my Facebook that, a few people were asking, if I feel sad, and they're like, oh, it's over now, like, what you gonna do now? It's just like, there's no negative feelings about successfully ending that reign. To me, it was like a beautiful ending, and it's an even more beautiful beginning, because now we're here. We're doing something like this. I'm just thankful that I had the opportunity. I'm thankful for the Most High for like giving me grace. Because trust me, Anil, there was like times where it's like doing this, going to bed, having to go to work, and then staying up late doing other stuff, trying to exercise, and just trying to still be well-rounded. It takes a lot of work. So I'm happy that that aspect of it, at least in the public eye, is over.
So we just had the second annual pageant.
Yes.
And we crowned Miss Taylor St. Rose.
Yes.
How do you feel about the decision What advice do you have for her going forward?
Well, congratulations. I've told her that again. But congratulations, you did an amazing job. All the girls did amazing. I think a lot of people were saying, the first one was so good. How can we follow up? We followed up very well, and
Yeah.
I'm so happy for everything they did just because I saw them, and I know we were having this conversation. I saw them at one of their practices, and to see them, how they flourished at the end, I was like, wow, really amazed at the change and the evolution. But for Taylor, I would simply say you need grace and you need determination. She displayed that on the stage that night, but throughout the reign, if you really want to do what you have to, you're going to need those things. Grace to handle yourself a certain way when things don't go your way, when things are not falling in place the way you think they should, and just determination to make it happen. Because if you're not determined, like a serious determination to make it happen, it's not going to happen. Everyone sees the crown, and to some people, that's enough. It's beautiful, you look beautiful, and to some people, it's like, wow, that's enough. You've done everything you need to do.
And it's over.
But exactly, but
But
you need
just
that
started.
determination to be like, no, I need to fulfill this promise that I made to my community and myself on pageant night.
Work in store for her. And congratulations to Taylor as well.
Yes.
And we all here to support you.
Yeah.
In the creative community. And like I mentioned, I actually had the chance to work with the girls in the beginning stages of the pageant.
Yes.
As being official photographer.
Great photos,
doing the
by
photos
the
and
way.
stuff. And actually shooting the
Yes.
event. And this is my first year actually capturing the event. And I would say, like,
I'm jealous, by the way,
why?
because you wasn't at the first Saint Lucia USA Pageant. I mean, you did our photos, but
That's another story.
the pageant photos. I mean,
But yeah,
it's
I'd
just
have loved to have been there.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where I was at the time.
Who knows? Maybe
Yeah.
the money was right wherever you were.
Stop it. It was my second time being involved, and my first time shooting the pageant. And it was a beautiful atmosphere.
Yeah.
Just seeing St. Lucians coming out dressed up, dapper, chic. I love seeing our people in that kind of environment.
Yeah. Yes.
Because I don't want to say, we have that cabaret mentality or cabaret kind
Nothing
of
wrong with a little
a
cabaret
little, you know what I'm saying?
mentality.
But
Nothing wrong with that.
sometimes, those events where you step in and you see people coming as royalty.
Yes.
The atmosphere is different.
Different,
The air
yes.
is different.
Yes.
Yes.
And
you just the aura, you shine.
it smells like l'argent.
That's a good one. Yeah, but it is like I wish there was more of that, and I'm so happy to the Forest organization for putting this together. And coincidentally, it was on the 1st of February, so it actually started 46 years of independence. So it's a beautiful way to start off the year and the celebrations, to not just bring our people together, but also to highlight the creatives,
Yes.
highlight artistry, talent, empower women, support and showcase what St. Lucia has to offer on a bigger platform, on a bigger stage.
Yeah.
But most importantly, I would tell you, I know the girls on the stage had a difficult job. Putting together production to that capacity takes a lot of work and a lot of people. And there were a lot of people behind the scenes that worked tremendously and effortlessly to make it happen. And usually those are not the people that get the congratulations. I had a chance to go backstage at the pageant. I'm like, you here? You chaperoning? And like, wow.
Yeah.
And for me as a creative, that was beautiful. Because there's people out there that have such great talent and you don't know about it.
Yeah.
Whether it's like, dancing, whether it's makeup, hair, whether it's designing, those dresses were beautiful.
They were.
Beautiful.
Shout out to Best Dressed.
All of these look fabulous.
Yes.
The pageant meant more to me than just an event and just the collective of creatives that came together. Not just the one organization. They made it possible.
Yes.
But seeing the St.Lucian community come together and create something that's so beautiful. And I wish more of us were able to see it in person, not just on live stream, on Facebook, on WhatsApp videos, whatever, but to actually be in the audience and see the display of pride, identity, and creativity and talent from our people, from our sons and daughters.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful place to be.
Yeah, I also think it's an opportunity for us to explore with who we are on like a larger scale.
Yeah.
I think for a while we know that, okay, what we bring to the table as far as our flower festivals, and we have certain things that we grew up being taught and being known that, okay, this is what it means to be St. Lucian, and this
Yes.
is part of St. Lucian culture. But I think with that, there's an opportunity to explore what does that mean to be St. Lucian in today's age, and to attend those kind of events and
Yes.
stuff like that. So for me, I just see that you said the talent of some of the girls, like one of the girls, Danielle, she mentioned being a glass blower and seeing that she wants more persons to learn about, you know, those different creative outlets that maybe we're not exposed to. So for me, the pageant is also an opportunity for stuff like that, to just not only the contestants to, you know, put themselves out there and explore with their creative talents and build their platform and whatnot, but also for the persons who are going to be inspired.
Exactly.
For persons who are going to, on that one night, you step out and it's independent. You step out, and like you said, there's an air of royalty in there. I've always believed we are a royal people. I've always believed that. But it's like, do you get those opportunities to actually walk in that? And I think that's what that event does. And even the month of February, I think it's a nice way for us to begin exploring what that means for us.
Definitely. And thinking about independence, we have a lot to celebrate.
Yeah.
This year.
Yeah.
2024 was the year of Saint Lucia, for Saint Lucia.
Yes.
The amount of accomplishments and milestones that we accomplished.
Yes. Yes. Rewarding. Even this year already, we have some stuff to celebrate.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And we can't talk about celebrating Saint Lucia without speaking about John Alfred.
Yes. Shout out to Juju.
To Juju. And I know that's one of your favorites.
Yeah, I got very emotional. Because for me, running is not just you run a race. Running is symbolic of life. You know, so when I saw her do that, I'm like, yeah, she just run that. But it's like she just pushed a whole set of people forward.
Wow.
Through her running.
Just carrying us on her back.
Yeah. So it was emotional for me.
And just like you said, you know, having that crown on is hard work.
Yeah.
And you have expectation.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how does that play in creativity and artistry? Are we now, do we go from a point where we're doing it for ourselves or doing it for others?
Well, people will tell you, depending on who you ask, I think they'll tell you different things. Like we've already discussed, for me it's incredibly spiritual and it's incredibly personal, but it has the ability to transform if it first transforms you. That's a wrap up of what today has been and what we hope the rest of the podcast to be. And I'm just looking forward to the space we're creating and also the persons who will benefit from that. I think I'm looking forward to the different energies, like you said, that are going to come in this space and just what we could create.
If we don't have a place to celebrate our own, they become, somebody else will take them in.
Yeah.
If we don't open doors for them, they'll go into somebody else's home.
Yeah.
And they'll be celebrated elsewhere.
Yeah.
And usually people go where they celebrated.
They do.
But we also want them to be appreciated as well, most importantly. Not just celebrated, not just about the applause, and we want to appreciate them for what they do as individuals and as St.Lucians.
Yes. I think that's a good place to end for today, and to invite our guests to our next episode and thank them for tuning in and watching.
Definitely.
Yeah. It was good.
Great.
We did good. High five. I don't know.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to the Urban Manor Podcast. And if you like what you heard today, please don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends and family, and help spread what we do on this platform.
Yes. Thank you. Bye.
Wow.